Hello the channel, welcome back everyone. Hope you didn't miss me too much. I definitely didn't miss everybody else sitting at the pool having a few beers, so there we go. What's the itinerary for tonight? So I'm going to do a wee preview of the Leagues Cup, because everybody loves the Leagues Cup, don't they? Everybody loves it. No, seriously, we'll have a look at the stats for the Leagues Cup. Before we go through things for the weekend, do some lineup building, etc. Just want to have a quick chat about the early access cards, etc. So obviously that's in the title. We'll have a discussion about early access cards. Mbappe looks quite impressed with them, doesn't he? Champion ones are going to be really, really expensive. So yeah, let's get into it. And before we do that, preview of the best competition that's ever been existed in football, the Leagues Cup. Let's have a look and see what's been happening. So, what's the background to this? Well, you can't really see me there. There's no background. I'll move this down a wee bit so you can see me a bit better. Yeah, well, I was on holiday. I knew I was going to be on holiday. Knew the contender cards and everything were going to be out. Apparently, in one of the blogs somewhere, it said that there wouldn't be a 1 out of 100 card. I still can't find it now, so obviously wasn't very clear in any way at all. So there we go. I can see in a way why you wouldn't mint the 1 out of cards and you wouldn't mint the shirt numbers, but there's just loads of issues that creates. Firstly, if you're buying the 1 out of card, you want the first card. It's a numerical thing. It's first card minted. You want the first one. The one of the main reasons for that is you want obviously the extra collection bonus, but you want extra XP as well. So, it's going to come like September time and they're going to bring out 1 out of Celtic cards. I'm not interested in that at all. Like, I might buy some and get the collection up to get it up to the sort of highest level or to try and stay top of the leaderboard, but I just find it so weird. So if you just think, I'm not a collector, I don't care about 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000 or whatever, just think, why do people buy these cards, pay so much for premium for them? So the first one comes out, you think, right, if I buy that one, I'm guaranteed that nobody will have a better XP than me. I'll make sure I get the whole collection, I'll have an advantage. Now you can't do that. So it comes September, you buy the 1 out of card, and there's like 20 rares or whatever, which all have a better XP. It's just stupid. To make it even more stupid, like things have happened, like Sorare have minted Connor Barron's number 8, which is his Rangers shirt number. So they just minted the shirt number anyway, so like all these arguments, all players are going to move and everything, that's just doesn't really have any weight, I don't think. So that's why I was a bit annoyed. I'd saved up a balance. I knew I was going to be overpaying a bit. I wanted to get some 1 out of cards, maybe super rares, just wait on the seconds or the thirds because they were going to be really expensive. But limited, particularly, I wanted to get the first ones this time, and obviously, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be doing that now. The other thing is now I've created a collection, and they're going to get go up through the levels. If I go and buy the 1 out of cards or whatever, then those will replace these ones in the collection, which means that they will still get the extra 5% or whatever, but they'll actually be a lower level than these ones I've got just now because I've been building up XP. So I did kind of explain that earlier. So anyways, I've spent loads of money regardless of that. Let's have a look at the actual collections. So we'll do that instead. So obviously I was top of some of the Celtic collections already. Got everyone in limited. The only one I've not bought is Benjamin Sigrist. Sigrist is a way to date Rapid Bucharest, so don't bother. Won't be part of your collection. I think that's the rule. Picked everyone up. Schmeichel's quite expensive just now. I kind of understand why he's expensive. Doesn't have, many mints. You've got a special coming up, which is really good. Drawbacks of doing it this way. I'm not really sure why you haven't minted like guys like Nicholas Kuhn yet. That's a bit weird. He's been there for 6 months. Got Schmeichel out pretty quickly. I think that's a good business decision and a good decision for users. I know people have come on and said, oh, well, what about this guy for this club that's not been minted? But, if you want to encourage people to run Celtic stacks or whatever, you need to get the goalkeeper out, etc. Rare level of kind of not as much. I think some of these guys are probably a bit overpriced at the moment. Scott Bain's like 50 quid, which is daft. He's a third goalkeeper now, so that's just bonkers. Alistair Johnson, understandably a wee bit more pricey. Sagres I picked up previously. It was kind of partly for collection bonus as well, so I'm not far off getting up to 500 now, which would be 4% for the special, which would be good. Scales, I'm not sure about whether or not he'll keep that place. I think we'll sign another centre half, so you need to be careful, I think, a wee bit with him. Matt O'Reilly, obviously you've got transfer risks, and Palma been pretty expensive. I'm going to pick him up, but I think he's going to be more a rotation piece. I'm just be careful I don't actually overpay for him. And then, initially I'd had my wee rant, or my big rant, and I said, I'm not really going to be sort of buying or whatever, and then there was SPFL special come out, so there we go. So goalkeeper wise, Mike will be looking to pick him up soon. Johnson Vickers I've picked up. Furuhashi I've picked up. McGregor I got this morning, which was a really good price. O'Reilly I'd be really tempted by in season, but just the transfer risks at the moment, and there's more cards on auction as well. So yeah, I think early accesses went really well for Sorare. Haven't really actually won any cards of note out of it. So I think I've bought 35 or something now and had like one Bojan Majovski limited or whatever. Picked up a good amount of essence, and obviously there's a chance that some of them will be special cards as well. So I think this is going well for Sorare. I think they're bringing in a lot of money from it, which is really good. There'll be some lessons to be learned. Really don't like what they've done with one out a card. Just mint the one out. I don't understand why you can't just mint it, honestly. Even if it is a goalkeeper card, even if it is a short number, who cares? Like the arguments of what if they move or whatever. What if the number 2 out of 100 moves, the number 3 out of 100 moves? Like, it's you just mint the cards in order. Anyway, we'll see what they do in September, whether they do anything special for those, but they're buggered now because they're now way behind in terms of XP. We've got Challenger, obviously, there's a bit of a talking point just now with the Leagues Cup, so let's get into that and then we'll do some lineups, etc. So I've decided to start this with the hot topic at the moment, which is the Leagues Cup. So there's no special competition for this, which is not entirely unsurprising because Sorare never said there was going to be a special competition for it. It is covered. It was covered last year, so that's not a surprise either. I do get what people are saying about, obviously, if you've got 2 or 3 challenger teams and then you don't have places to use those cards, but challenger is for league games only. For me personally, I think it's actually a bonus that the Leagues Cup's even covered in the All-Star. I just think the teams don't sometimes take it that seriously from memory from last year. I don't think it's actually that important to Sorare at this point in the summer because all these Euro Leagues coming. So why would you want to make this big special thing out of the Leagues Cup? Like, it might be important to Sorare MLS or guys in America or whatever. Like, I get that. But the MLS has already had its season starting special competition, etc. So not like the MLS has just been completely shafted. So anyways, thought we'd go through the stats because one of the things in my mind is like, how do these teams match up stats wise? And it's worth having a look. So does look like Orlando have got a pretty good matchup. Obviously that's easier to correlate because of the MLS as well. Inter Miami against Puebla looks like a good fixture for them. No Messi, so got to factor that in. New York look like they've got a good game against Querétaro. The Red Bulls as well, obviously it's an MLS fixture. Los Angeles are always really good, to be honest, so well, not always, but like they're always capable of putting in a really big performance. So they've got highest clean sheet percentage, which still pretty low, 40% and 1.8 expected team goals. Atlanta have lost a lot of players recently, so that's a difficult one. The Revs are just pretty rotten at the moment. Seattle, so I think Minnesota have been struggling a wee bit down to the bare bones. I think Seattle, Yaimar's suspended, that's been carried over from last year. I've got him at the moment, so I remembered that. And then obviously we've got various other teams there as well. No real other standouts. I think Philadelphia Union maybe worth a mention because since Andre Blake's come back, he's actually been a lot better. So there we go. That's that Leagues Cup competition that I'm not interested in whatsoever as a Celtic European fan. So let's get into it all. Let's do the actual Challenger stuff here. So bear in mind that when we're talking about the Challenger League, etc. here, competition-wise, Challenger is for league games, not for cup competitions. So USG, Royal Union, St Galwaz obviously played Ender. They came up, so that's quite right, I think, to be right up the top there. 2.19 expected team goals. Club Brugge have signed really well. I mean, like if I was going to be buying Challenger, which I'm not because I've spent all my money in Celtic, then I think Club Brugge would be right up there. I've signed Zaid Romero, Tizolis. I mean, they've just signed really well. Hugo CK, actually I bought a rare of his as well. Looks really, really good. And bear in mind that it probably goes without saying now, but there won't be any MLS teams in the Challenger competition. We'll have a wee look at the boxes and everything in a minute. Palmeiras and Flamengo are not currently minted, so they will be an in-season. Copenhagen, they've got a Champions League game, but it's a pub team they're playing, I think, pretty much, so, they might actually be pretty strong for that fixture. Brøndby, again, not currently minted. Ghent and Genk, pretty good fixtures, obviously, for them based on last season's form. STVV or St Truns, and kind of interest one because of the high turnover, so that's going to be sort of interest in terms of how that plays out. Anderlecht obviously finished the season really strongly, but then sold their best goalkeeper, or the best goalkeeper left, came to Celtic. Nothing else really standing out that much for me, I guess. Atletico Mineiro, 46% expected clean sheets. We'll have a look at Contender as well, because although Celtic are not back, Contender is running this weekend. Again, league fixtures in Contender. Imagine that. That's what the rules say. If there's any Americans watching now, feel free, put some comments on. Just like kind of partially at the wind up, but yeah, I don't really care about the Leagues Cup. Sporting Cristal, not really minted. Some Chinese games on, obviously that'd be more for classic. So it's like kind of slim pickings really. We've got some Russian games back. River Plate are playing, so they'll probably be best for sort of in-season, because I'm not seeing a lot of teams here where I think are getting minted at the moment. Bodo Glimt are usually good for a goal or two. Zenit are playing, but again, they're not currently getting minted. So I'd imagine this would be a pretty good weekend if you've got some River Plate cards or whatever to get them wired into the in-season competitions. So there we go. That's my overall insights into it. We've also got the Olympics on. So hang on a minute. I think we do have a filter here for the Olympics. Gallen's wonderful spreadsheet. Look at this. Fantastico. Don't have any data yet, so I was just saying that was fantastic. The Rees don't have any data, so the games are ongoing at the moment. So yeah, not much point in previewing that over the mighty Leagues Cup. So what else is happening this weekend? Just an announcement today on the boxes, etc. So I wanted to have a look at these. So in terms of the boxes, this applies to Challenger this weekend because we've got the actual Challenger Leagues back, and then Contender will follow similar sort of route next weekend. In season wise, so I'm going to go to the actual top division leaderboard because the boxes are quite interesting. So now in obviously this super rare, so 40% of 5 essence, 30% 10 essence, 10% 20 essence, and 50% of credits up to $50. Let's have a look at the rare level, etc., because it's going to be pretty similar, obviously, in terms of the Contender from next weekend for Celtic back, etc. We've still got the SPFL special. So we've got 60% chance of 10 essence, 15% of 20, 5% of 30, which is really good. You mean that's minimum, being able to craft a card, and 50% credits up to $40. This is to 50% of entrance though, so that's not going to be hard to get. So we've got like 25th paid out in terms of cash, and 50% of people entering are going to get these boxes. Nash Gash have not actually made their way up to the top division, unsurprisingly, because they have been actually Gash. But let's see what the story is right up the top of Challenger. So we've got 50%, 10 essence, 20%, 20 essence, 10% for 30, and 50%. That 50% credits up to $10, 20% the box. So yeah, the boxes are pretty good, and then as you come down the divisions, they get progressively worse. So obviously higher chance of getting like the sort of lower end of the essence and less credits. So $5 then, and then I'd imagine if you go at 5, it's going to be pretty poor. So 50% of credits up to $5. So I like that because that kind of encourages people to buy better cards. 60% free essence capsules, but that's not too bad for entering Division 5. I mean, obviously you're going to have to grind it up and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, like that's the nature of the game. Sorare want you to be playing and looking to move up. So there we go. Quick shout out before we go on to picking some lineups. I will be putting up a Celtic lineup on Predictor 5 this weekend. This is where my Celtic lineups are going to go, and also over and above that, I think I'll probably do a bit of a preview in terms of walk through the Celtic squad as well. So there we go. So that's a lot of chatting. Apologies if I came across as if I was having a rant. I was having a bit of a rant, but you know, if you're sitting on holiday, you've told the family you've got to set some time aside, and then this bombshell gets dropped on you where you're expecting certain cards, then you know it's quite a lot to take in. And then also, I don't think it was communicated. If it was added in, it wasn't added in at the point where the blogs were up. There was no real visibility on it. So there we go. Right, let's pick some lineups. So I've got this medals special, which is quite good for the medals super rare. We'll be able to enter some teams. Let's go for the limited one first. Again, we've got some boxes and everything here as well. So you've got stars, you've got jerseys available. These ones still have cards in them at the moment. There's some level ups. You can win a t-shirt or you can win rivals jerseys. I think you win socks. If you move up to there, you win socks. But actually, not too bad. So you get boxes, stars, and you get jerseys. And obviously, in terms of the stars, your actual stars are in here, Mbappe, etc. So, you know, I don't think you can really grumble at that at all. Interestingly, my phone's going mental here because I think that what's happening. I think that Japan are going a bit bonkers against Paraguay. It's 4-0. So, Koki Saito with 2 assists, which is lovely. So Japan look quite handy. So I guess that's going to be our kind of first port of call here, in terms of putting in a team. So we've got Japan against Mali. Japan scored again 5-0. Argentina against Iraq. I mean, Argentina really need to play now. So these are my 2 options. I'm going to go for a Japan stack. Like, I just think that kind of makes sense. Don't actually have Ohata, but what I could do is I can mix in Sergio Gomez. Where's Tennis? I'm sure I bought a Tennis. Why is he not showing up? I'm almost sure I bought a Tennis for this. Maybe I didn't. Okay, right, we'll go for Kukubo. Nishio never started. I don't think I really have the starters for Japan, so I'll go for Sergio Gomez. Midfield wise, I don't actually have a Maito as well, which is a bit of a shame. I guess Iraqi could play. I might need to actually add some midfielders, so who's available? I've decided to add a Shinsuke Mito. I'm sorry if that never really flowed very well there, because was asked me to put in passwords and all that sort of nonsense. So, you know, it's like, I really want to have a limited team, and I might actually end up picking up somebody else. Or I guess you can play cards further down here as well, which is a good advantage as well. So Kukubo, I'm going to go with It's actually got Mark Pubel available as well. He was pretty good. I think second team probably going to be running Argentinian defence, although they weren't very good the last time. Again, could drop down some rares, so it's kind of interesting to have that availability, but I'll probably playing the best cards elsewhere. Shinsuke Mito were picked up. Leo Labada against Paraguay. I mean, Paraguay have conceded loads of goals there, so going to play him. And have a look at the spreadsheet here. I thought I actually had better options than this in limited, but limited. Oh, Sorare. Maybe we're just havering. we're gonna have to buy somebody else as well. I guess I could just not bother playing Rulli here and just play like Otamendi. Zimmerman's a good option as well, actually. Big walk, so because New Zealand, that'll be easier for USA. Then who we're going to play? I think Sergio Gomez being a sort of defender card is really good. So there's no stats up available yet in terms of the percentages, but we do have projected scores. So 62 for Otamendi is amongst the highest, and Sergio Gomez isn't on. That's because, as you bought him this afternoon, this is not going very well so far, isn't it? This is what happens when you come back from holiday and fricking everyone's just all over the camp. Anyways, that's fine. I'm just going to play him anyway, right? I need to update the sheet. That's my fault. So, I'm going to go with Sergio Gomez. Wire him in there. Rare level, I might actually pick up to get an R team out in limited. I might pick somebody up or just drop down a rare. So, I think Spain should do well against the Dominican Republic. Quite good Sergio Gomez playing as well because I wasn't really sure about him. I do have Ohata at this level, which is good, so that'll give me another option to with Kubo. So go for a wee kind of Spanish stack here. Let's have a look and see what the other projected scores are for players. Again, Olympics things, I don't know how many people are going to be playing the Olympics, but it looks like it's worth playing, if that makes sense, with all these prizes and the medals special. So Thiago Almada is the highest projected score, so I guess I'm going to play him in here with the Spanish guys. Koke Saito has been absolutely superb in this game, so I'm struggling to see how I can leave out wee Koke. And then Shirky doesn't really seem to play for anybody at the moment, so Diego Gomez, Paraguay look a bit poor. Japan look quite good. Could play Zimmerman or Ohata. Try to see what other options we've got here. Do fancy Leo Labada against Paraguay as well, looking at the general standard of what they've produced. But yeah, I'd like to get a sort of more of a. I could play Mark Pubel as well. That's quite interesting. Go for the wing backs for Spain. Again, Sergio Gomez playing an attacking position. Spain play good football. I'm just going to go with that. I guess I could target the under 23s and stuff, but with the special going on, probably not so sure. So, can I probably get 3 teams in this as well? So, Kokubo I can play with Ohata. I'm not going to be playing Super Rare, so I can drop down like El Canus. I can play Shunsuke Mito. I can play Fujita as well, Big Joe, and Koki Saito. So got a Japan stack. See, this is the kind of stuff I love about the Olympics, etc. Like, never, ever, ever, by any stretch of the imagination, ever thought, yeah, I'm just going to be running like a Japan stack here or whatever, like. I mean, Japan looked pretty good today, there's no doubt about it. So go for a hopeful Japan stack there. Koki Saito, captain. Let's hope they run riot again. They're probably not, because they'll just run riot tonight and too late, but there we go. Then we go for the USA defence. back on side with the Americans after slagging off the Leagues Cup, which is shite. I do have a Juan Miranda actually I could use, but I think like Spain might start to rotate a wee bit. Sergio Gomez super might be getting somewhere else, so I think I'll just go with Walker Zimmerman, and then midfield wise we can play Knuss in here. He was really good today. I'm just wondering whether I'll need him somewhere else. Medina will be fired up. Echeverry came on, so that was kind of interesting. Probably just use Medina. I think I probably might just fire in a team just to try and get a box just of super rares. I don't know if that's a waste or not. Forward wise, so Morocco looked actually pretty handy against Argentina, right? I was going to say Danilo Saikan, but Alvarez probably going to go into the super rare effort or some other super rare effort. So I guess I'm going to go for Lila Abada. And then last option, Di Cesare against Iraq as well. Probably going to have to go for Walker Zimmerman captain. It's more of a defensive stack type team there as well. Shame don't have a goalkeeper, but it's only restricted like amounts of goalkeepers here. In fact, can I even enter this? It won't let me enter what? So I even have a DMP goalkeeper, so it's not even going to let me enter. Yeah, it's a pain in the bum. Alright, we'll just enter super rare options. They'll have to play somewhere else. So that's a bit of a pain. I wonder whether it's worth buying one of the DMP goalkeepers, to be honest. So yeah, Challenger. I'm not going to have much in season for this because obviously with the Leagues Cup, etc. I haven't bought really in season cards, so like just to show you, like filter, none. Yeah, I suppose that's quite interesting. I've got a few guys that moved to Brazil who count as in season cards, but don't have enough to fulfil the criteria of 4, so that's a pain in the backside. I want to keep that entry as well, not just like whack in somebody that's just completely and utterly rubbish. Let's have a look at All Star. We'll pick some good All Star teams. Only one entry again. That's kind of people's feedback and saying, well, actually, could we have had more? People are saying the rewards are not that good, but I mean, it's a tier 1 super rare, $1,000 for first, and a tier 2 rare. Let's have a look at what's in the tier 1 super rares. Appreciate this super rare, but obviously got other ones. So we've got some pretty good cards in there, to be honest. I mean, these guys are going to be kind of out of season. That's the only thing, but I wouldn't really be grumbling about getting a Lucas Radecki or whatever. Like that's not the end of the world, right? So, anyways, let's use the sheet, not be rabbiting on about stuff all the time. Olympics, I need to filter that off so that we're looking at everyone. Oh, so goalkeeper wise, McCagnow's been playing. Olafson's been in great form. I don't know why I can leave him out. Andre Blake has been really good, so I guess natural things to play him in here. The only thing I'm worried about is that there's going to be this messing about in the Leagues Cup, and they're just going to go, oh, well, we'll just play Semo or whatever. So I'm going to stick with Olafson. So I just don't trust it. I just don't really trust the kind of Leagues Cup. Olafson also is a challenger goalkeeper as well, so that means that yeah. I can't play Blake in Challenger, can I? I don't really have strong Challenger cards this weekend, so I don't think I'm too bothered about that. Can play Zimmerman, etc. in here as well, which is quite interesting. Ian Frey, 82, Douglas Santos. I think I'm just going to take Douglas Santos out of contender and just play him in here. Just because that's pretty $1,000 first, really good. I do have the MLS cards listed, just because obviously there's no real brilliant upcoming utility for me with them. If I can get them sold at similar to what I paid for them, could reinvest that in season cards. Wilmar Barrios expected 62, so that's quite high. Could play Knuss in here as well. You look pretty good today. I guess we go for the double Zenit. And they looked really good last game, so I think that's a reasonable strategy to go with. And again, Cezinha, Felipe Anderson estimated 69 is quite interesting. I think I'm going to go with Cezinha and Felipe Silva though, just to be safe, because I'm not sure how well Felipe Anderson, just to confuse things, actually settling in terms of the Brazilian league. That's a really strong team. Who's got the highest projected score? Cezinha 70, quite close. Douglas Santos, probably more. Away from home 72. I don't know how good Ruben Kazan's going to be this season, so go with the more reliable Cezinha. Right, let's do something else. We'll pick some under 23 teams, and then you can stop listening to me. Probably pleased about that. Brandon Nazawa is not going to play. I don't think I have much left for the limited now, so that's why I'm just kind of going for rare, just to cover different competitions, etc. Big young bum, so that makes sense. On the bum. Defence. Will CK play? So you look, he's right up there with the projected 67. That's quite interesting. Kim Joo Sung, I think is a good option, obviously, to have with Bake. So Kim, that kind of makes sense. I think Inchin not really been as good. So maybe I still a bit hit and miss. Diego Gomez, Redondo. So Redondo, I think, will play for Miami. I mean, obviously, they're struggling for players at the moment. So Diego Gomez is maybe transferring to Brighton, and he's at the Olympics. Ignacio Fernandez, the way Almada is been played elsewhere. So I think in terms of choice here, probably going to go with Redondo against Puebla. Forward wise, Celtic were linked with Balikwisha. I would take him. There's no doubt about it. Going to play him this weekend against Charleroi. I think that's a good fixture. And then who we're going to play alongside these guys? Lee Ho Jae has been really good, although Gimchin are top of the league at the moment. So kind of interesting one. Jordan Boss added for a bit of depth. It's kind of interesting as well. I don't know if there's any other standouts in terms of the sheet. Where's Lee Ho Jae? Yeah, he's at 46. O is now moved from Celtic to Genk. Don't know whether he'll start or not though, so that's the thing. Diego Gomez actually an 82. So did he start for Paraguay? We'll check the phone again. He got battered, so took off after 82 minutes. So Paraguay are playing Israel. I think I'll probably play him. He's a key player, I think, for Paraguay. They'll want to bounce back after the 5-0. Could just be one of those sort of sickeners or whatever. But he's going to play the Israel game, not the Inter Miami game. I guess the only problem here is his stats for that game. It might be a projected 53. Not really any other brilliant options, so don't really mind it. I'm going to captain Balikwisha. I'll think about that Diego Gomez one because I think that those stats have been pulled down for the best game actually from the Miami game, so probably be better to put somebody else in. I'll put in Lee Ho Jae because he's just been really good, so we'll captain Balikwisha. So yeah, I think that's enough to go through just now. We've covered loads of stuff, including how all the Americans probably hate me at the moment after I've slagged off their beloved Leagues Cup. What's happening next? So, as I said, we'll get Celtic lineup on Predictor Fi this weekend. I think still should be available at the moment. In any event, I will be discussing Celtic on the YouTube channel. It's not an exclusive deal, so it'll be a case of me saying the YouTube channel. I can't tell you who I think is going to be a predicted lineup, but it will be a paid service at some point soon. We've got loads of sort of changes and everything happening. We've got the champion cards coming out, I think, round about, when is it, the 30th? 6 days. So that's going to be pretty explosive, I think. I mean, I'm not going to have any money left by then. That's going to be a major issue. But I have lots of Celtic cards and lots of Celtic collections, so I'm hoping that maybe if I avoid the early access cards, I can win some stuff in Classic, um, win some cash, start building some stuff for Champion. I don't think Challenger wise I'm going to be going into the end seasons. Don't really think you've got, I don't think anybody really, unless you're a millionaire or Pranksy or whatever, who's probably is a millionaire, has got the budget to properly play these things like seriously, like, so you're better like picking your team that you want to go with or whatever. It's Leverkusen stack or Bayern Munich or whatever, and just wearing and going for it. Anyway, that's 36 minutes I've been talking for. Obviously I've been away for a while, so more to discuss. Apologies again for my rants, but as a passionate collector, I wish they would just have whacked out the one out of cards and just be done with it, but it is what it is. Anyways, hopefully see you for some rewards on Friday night. I'm not really sure the way it's going so far, but there might not be, but we'll definitely be back at the weekend with Celtic preview, some lineups, information for Predictor FI, and hopefully some fun. Anyways, we'll end in customary fashion now. Playing this weekend. Good luck and go for it.